Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Man's Noble Beer Reviews. Today I have another beer from Bell's Brewing Company out of Comstock, Michigan. This is part of their Leaves of Grass series, which is from, I guess, different books from Walt Whitman. I'm not too into that type of stuff, so I can't really I don't know too much about Walt Whitman, so I can't comment on that too much. But so I know this Leaves of Grass series. It's not a particular style, like different stouts or that type of thing. They're all completely different beers. I know they did an IPA. They did a Goza. This one is a smoked porter. So they're all completely different beers. This one is called To a Locomotive in Winter, whatever that means. It is a smoked porter. It is 6.0 ABV, and the description says, the fourth of 7 beers celebrating a literary classic and one of our favorites, Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman. German smoked malt, chocolate malt, and roasted malt work in harmony with carefully chosen hops for a smooth, smoky take on a classic style. So I guess it's 7 beers. So Leaves of Grass, I guess, is one book. I'm not sure. And these are just different, sayings in the book. I'm really not sure. I don't know anything about it, but that's what it sounds like from this. But I've not had this before. But any new beer that Bell's puts out, I always try to get, because they were, it's kind of just a nostalgia thing for me, to be honest. It's not completely nostalgic, because they are still really good brewery. They still make a lot of really good beer. But them more than anybody, they were one of the first breweries that really got me into craft beer. So I'm always I like to buy their stuff and try anything new that they make. So that's why I got this, and I'm gonna crack it open and see what we got. And I honestly don't remember. I think I've done 1 or 2 smoked beers on this channel before, but I know I haven't done a lot of them, if I have done any at all, to be honest. So I haven't had a smoked beer in a little while either, not that I can think of off the top of my head. So I'm kind of excited to give this a go. And these guys are basically, in my opinion, one of the masters of the classic stout porter category. And so I'm intrigued to give this a try. I haven't had their regular porter in such a long time. Usually if I'm going for something classic from them, I'll go for Kalamazoo Stout. That's a little bit of a bolder beer. I'm guessing the base for this is not just the regular classic porter with smoked malt. It's probably a new recipe, because when they do these types of things, it's usually all its own thing. It's not like they just take this beer and then add stuff to it. They brew a specific beer for that. So I'm guessing that's the case with this. Pretty dark brown color, almost black. I mean, it's really, really dark for a porter. It has a small beige head that went away pretty quickly. So there's a lot of smoke. To be honest, more than I was expecting, and that's not a bad thing at all. I really like smoked beers. It's just, there's not a lot to go around, and especially not that many that are made locally. And a lot of the reviews I do are for local beer, so I just don't really have the opportunity to review them. Really nice meaty smoke. None of that's the only thing with like smoked slash rock beers, is sometimes they can come off as like burnt rubber smoke, and that is just no bueno. But this is not that. This is a kind of like smoked Gouda and bacon almost, if that makes sense. But there's definitely some roastiness from the malt as well. It's not just smoked malt. There is some roastiness. I'm surprised there's not actually coffee in this, because it has not just roasted malt. It actually has like a coffee aroma. But the smoke is for sure the driving factor in the nose. Oh, that's nice. That's real nice. Uh, Man, that is so well balanced. It's so of course the smoke is what you're gonna get up, first and foremost, because it's pretty big in the nose. Um, but like I was describing in the nose, it is very meaty, um, like barbecue smoke, a little bit of like smoked Gouda. And then it folds into this like really nice anise roasty, a little bit of like an earthy hop kick, and then it kind of folds back into like a coffee roast smoke flavor. It's like it builds. You get the big smoke, and then you come back down to like the traditional porter like roasted malt hoppy character, and then it kind of kicks back up to like a smoked coffee flavor. There's a lot of depth to this for a simple 6% porter. I would say the carbonation is perfect. Um, it's definitely not a thick beer, which a 6% porter shouldn't be, but it is very substantial. It drinks a little bigger than it is, which in this scenario is a good thing. I don't, I'm not, especially with that smoke, I like to have it just be a substantial beer. I don't want like a watery smoked beer. Uh, it's just, if you don't like smoked beers, you're not gonna like this. That's for sure. But the smoke is not overwhelming at all. Um, like I was saying, it is. If you don't like smoked beers at all, you will hate this. But if you appreciate them and don't love them, you'll probably really appreciate this because the smoke at the beginning is pronounced, but then you really get a lot of the undercurrent of what the base beer without the smoked malts would taste like, and it's a really nice beer. And to be honest, like some of the beer, the stouts and porters that they make, like it's so weird because Expedition Stout, they're classic, in my opinion, top. I don't know if it's the top non barrel aged, non adjunct imperial stout, but it's definitely top five. This reminds me of a baby version of that, to be honest. Um, because like Kalamazoo Stout, the one I said that I would normally look for, that is definitely more on the anise and dark fruit. Expedition's not dark fruit. It is a lot of smoke. There's not smoked malts in it, I don't believe. I think it's just for whatever reason, it's this malts that are blended in it, but I don't think there's specifically smoked malts in it. But it's very smoky, very hoppy, just aggressive and abrasive and bitter. And this just seems like a smaller version of that. More than any of their other stouts or porters have been. Uh, which is kind of crazy to me because I did not expect that going into this. But this is just the more I drink it, the more it makes me think like, wow, this is a smaller version of Expedition. Because I was saying, there is a nice earthy hop character to it, which is reminiscent to the big hop character that Expedition has. It's just not as big, and so I would say in this, it's kind of like the roastiness and the hop character and the smokiness are kind of flipped. So there's more smoke, less hop, less roast, but it's kind of all an amalgamation, like just a smaller mix of those three things, though. That's so good. So good. And yeah, this beer was $2, maybe $1.50. I don't remember. Maybe $2.50, somewhere between $1.50 and $3. Regardless, it's cheap as hell. For today's standards or any standards. I think I got this at Salute. I can't remember, but absolutely worth it. If you like smoked beers, smoked dark beers, if you just like Bell's stouts or porters in general, any of those things, you absolutely need to try this. This is so well executed. This is one of those smoked beers that I could actually drink several of, to be honest. Even though it has a lot of smoke, it's just the beer behind it is so robust and flavorful that it can carry it. And I just love this beer. And I think also because it's just making me think of like a mini version of Expedition is what gets me even more excited about it. It's really, really good. And this is the exact reason why I buy every Bell's product. They're always usually pretty good. One or two might just be like, kind of just not, just way behind its time and just not necessarily what I want anymore. But most of them, like this, are just like bangers that no one cares about. You can buy on the shelf, but they're just so much better than 90% of something in the same style that you can get from other breweries. So that's why I love these guys so much. So yeah, definitely a buy for me. But I think that's all I got in this one. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks.